Hey, Greg.
Hi, this is Greg.
Hey, Greg. Good checking in. We're still in a holding pattern for Melanie, but we have Miss Austin here.
Good morning, everybody.
Good morning.
My apologies for being tardy, but WebEx and I were having a disagreement.
Let's see if I can. For whatever reason, Greg, I cannot make you a panelist. Let's try this again. Yeah, okay, maybe.
Well, actually, when I got one little pop-up and I put in the meeting number that was in the invite, and it said that meeting no longer exists. Meeting has expired and no longer exists.
Okay, let's see if I can.
So, and I have one client that we use. They use GoToMe, the WebEx, and I am on that call every single week, Thursdays at 2:30, and I normally do not have any issues.
Huh. Yeah, are you able to see my screen? The time tracking app? Or are you just calling in?
No, I can see it now. Yeah, I can see it.
You're on your phone then?
I'm actually dialed in and on my computer at my desk.
All right. For whatever reason, it won't let me make you a panelist. It's just grayed out. Hold on for just a minute. I got Melanie calling. All right, Melanie Myers is having some audio difficulties. Greg, if you wouldn't mind just running through for Miss Austin some of the key points of the app. She had she wanted to see it in function here. I could change the presenter role. That's right. I can't because it won't let me change you to a presenter. So,
Mark, if you want to walk through it, if you want to drive, I can talk to it. How about that?
All right.
Just kind of go that route with it for right now.
All right, that sounds good. So Ms. Austin, it's really, straightforward app to really help our peer mentors, keep track of their time, keep better track of their time so that they can bill us. They'll simply log in, go to this website and log in, and all they have to do is hit the start timer up here. And once they, they get on a call with one of the peer mentors, and they can hit the start timer here to facilitate that. And once they have completed the call, they'll just hit stop, and they can go to save here, and it'll bring up which one of the clients that they're serving us for, or billing us for. And then there's many different consultation types. So not only can they do one consultation type, but they can do several different reiterations there, and who they spoke to, and of course they can do multiple people if they did a sort of a conference peer mentor thing. Medication and subject matter, and all these will be a part of that billing. And they can put in notes too. I know that was Melanie was telling me that was a big deal for you guys, was to have good notes that they're taking. And additionally, they can split the billing, which is very neat. So they can signify that they talked longer than what they did, but they only billed us for a certain amount of time. And it does default down to a quarter. In this instance, we only did 1 minute, but it just does a quarter an hour there, and then they save the draft. Oh, notes are required.
Well, if I can just add a couple other pieces here. So the notes are divided into two sections. There's the notes that are included in the billing detail, which is the box that Mark was just previously in. And then inside, where he's at right now, those are a set of internal notes, which are not included in any billing or detailed activity. So those are just kind of private inside notes. And then, Mark was correct about the billable versus non-billable or a split, and it's a dynamic build on the screen. So depending on which you click, presents different options. And as you can see, you clicked on split, so it added a second box to be able to delineate how much of the time was billable. The box to the left is the billable time. The box to the right is non-billable time. And then there's a reference number there. So if there's some other kind of specific identifying information about this event, that could be included there as a tag. And then, of course, the last piece is the ability to attach a file or a series of files and have that upload and retained with the time entry. And then the entry defaults in as a draft because we're assuming that it may need to be changed or edited. But if you simply click the box over there on the lower part of the screen there, you can change it from out of draft mode and then just save it off.
Okay.
I'm sorry?
Can you tell me where at the beginning of this, how do we notate how this consult or activity was initiated? Like, did they get an email or?
You hear that? Are you hearing that, Greg?
Yeah, I hear. Yes. As far as the consultation, how is that set up, Mark? Can you elaborate on that, on how the physician gets the contact reference?
The provider calls them, they reach out to them, when they do, the doctor would then, log in to here and signify that time. We have on our particular website all their number and all their contact information. So if a provider wants to reach out or has a question about certain subject matters, they can very easily do so. I think we have about 12. I do wish Melanie was in on this as well, because she has all the doctors in the room with her. They just don't have any cell service in there, and I guess they don't have a conference phone either, so they're unable to communicate with us. But yes, all the doctors, Melanie Myers here, she represents all the doctors in the room right now, and they would just simply get a call from, let's say, Broward County, and then they would, they would answer those questions, and for whatever time it takes, they would signify that time here, and we would reverse them.
Are you having trouble hearing me? I feel like I'm talking over you. I'm sorry. Can you hear me?
I can, yeah. You're a little choppy, but I can make it out.
Okay. So yeah, I am, Melanie and I have met, and I understand the project. One of the things that I requested early on, prior to Melanie coming on board, is to make sure I understand like how a consult is initiated. And we had a discussion about having a centralized place, but from what I'm hearing, the calls are going directly to the docs. And that's something, I don't expect you to answer that. I can talk with Melanie about that.
Okay.
Because we want to be clear, like we want to have a good understanding of how people are finding the docs. Did they just go to the website because they knew about them, or they saw them doing a presentation? And I mean, we don't probably need that level of detail, but I can talk with Melanie about that. I think this is a really nice tool. I guess my final question is for reporting purposes. So will Melanie be able to go in and just pull a summary report or detailed reports?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, Greg, why don't you lead me through that? I think I know where it is, but let's go ahead.
There's a reporting tab up here at the top. And from there's a variety of different types of reports. Click on report type up there if you would, Mark. Sorry, I can't drive, unfortunately. But there's a couple of reports. There's an activity report. There's a billing report. There's a client activity report. The approval report is the administrative function in which one of the FATA folks would go in there, review the time, and then approve it. But from there, there's a series of click on the time frame above there, Mark, if you would. One above. Yeah, there you go. So there's current month, quarter. So it allows you to go back in time and get some analytics and kind of look at what has historically happened. But typically, you're operating in the previous month because normally, depending on the time cycle, of course. But typically you would be approving the prior month's activity. So you would look at the previous month. If the time was being reviewed and approved as kind of as an ongoing basis, then you would obviously select the current. And then if you click on the time entry status, each of the time entry in the system that it's tracking has a status attached to it. So whether it's been approved, archived, draft, submitted, which is usually the first tier as the doctor completes the entry, it's given a submitted status. And then the next entry there, tier, is client, who it is that you're trying to run the report for. So you have the ability to report individually or collectively as a group. So you could do, multiple providers or organizations in that if you're trying to get like a region or something like that. So you would select, one or a couple of them depending on how you wanted to do it. Which resource, which would be, the specific physician that was in the system here. The rest of them, if you just leave them defaulted in, they will grab everything collectively. So every consultation type, or you could, say, I just want to run a report and just look at certain consultation types. and you could do it that way. So it allows a very granular, kind of approach to the reporting side of the system.
Very nice, nicely done.
And then we generate the report, and then this is the report which, it shows, what client, basically shows all the categories that were selected, and then these are all the entries for that, what mode they're in. Mark had selected both draft and submitted, so you get all of that information together. And then if you click on it, if you actually click on one of those objects there, Mark, then it would, you can actually open the entry up, and then you could actually enter or edit the entry, as it were. So if you click on that one there, and it should open. There it is.
Mm-hmm.
So it allows then the administrator of the system to then go through and to make various changes. If you want to, like the way we use it, we're constantly in there editing grammar, editing, kind of the comments, because we want to sanitize the information maybe. But this allows the opportunity to, still retain the fact that there's an entry in the system, there's an event, but kind of clean up the text in there just a bit.
What if we wanted to see a report by region? Have the agencies been entered by the region? It doesn't appear so.
Well, you could certainly do that today. You would just need to know who are in the, which one of the clients are, what region they're, what client is in what region, and then by that point,
we have all the maps that indicate the. Are you referring to like the managing entity and the those regions there? So if you wanted to do managing by managing entity, we would just go back to reports. Let's save that.
Now, an easy way to handle that, if that's kind of one of the reporting objectives, is Mark, we could just go in there and, matter of fact, go under Manage if you can, please.
Mm-hmm.
And boy, the screen is really small on this. But look at this is the users. I'll go to clients. Sorry, it's in the upper left-hand corner up there.
Oh, yes.
There's a tab right there. Okay. So these are all that. Let's click on any one of those. Just open one of them. I'm thinking what we would do is we would just add, where we added those custom fields, where there's custom field objects that are out there.
Mm-hmm.
We could just add a custom field for region.
And
Actually, put them
depending on how you want to do
regions. Yeah, we can do that.
Yeah, and then it would add that. Then that would be added to the time entry, form. And then that way we could default it in. It would be part of the client record, so we'd have it part of their identifying record, which would then show up and then would allow us to report off of it individually. And the way the system was built is those dynamic tags, once you put them in, show up in the reporting side of it. So I think I click up here under administration.
Administration.
At the very top up there. Yeah, right there. Okay, hours, site config, go in there. Yeah, so these are the custom fields that are in there. And I don't know, do we have an extra custom field? Custom field 1, 2.
I don't see one.
Yeah, we might need to add another custom field, which would not necessarily be, or we can repurpose one of these other ones, but I don't think we really want to do that, because I think this information.
Yeah, well, too, we have basically, institutional knowledge, because we know where all of these are located, so.
Right.
Yeah, so we wouldn't necessarily have to enter the field. We can, that's an option available to us if we wanted to make it easier. But, somebody like Melanie is going to very quickly learn and where all these are located. So if she wanted to run, all of, managing entity, so there's 7 managing entities. And I don't know them off the top of my head, but we literally have maps everywhere. of
Right.
them. So you can just select all the providers that are in that certain region, and then you can print that out. Is that what you were asking for, Ms. Austin? I am sorry, like, you are in and out on me. I don't know if it's my crappy phone or not.
Yeah, it could be here. What I was in, yes, I mentioned regions because although the majority of those that call would probably be funded by one of the managing entities, I know that there are a few that are not funded by an ME. But either way, and let me tell you, the purpose of that is one of our objectives for the grant is to increase MAT capacity, and that's one of the primary reasons, or the primary reasons for this.
So I lost you at the objective, and I really wanted to hear that.
Oh, man. Did you all have a call-in number on your thing, or is it only web-based?
Yeah,
I've got it here, Mark. Can you read it off to her?
1-877-668-4490. And then the access code is 663-799-457.
Yeah, I think it's. Yeah, I can hear her pretty well, but yeah, that's very choppy.
Can you hear me now?
I can hear you
I can hear that. Are you on your phone now?
I'm on the phone, so let me mute it on the.
Okay, yeah, I see you're muted now. Yeah, I can hear you. Now, what was the objective? Uh-oh. Oh, she muted herself, I think.
Oh, wait. Hello?
Hey. All right, I can hear you now.
Okay. So one of the objectives, the primary objective is to increase MAT capacity throughout the state. One of the things that would be good to report is as we look at capacity, like we get a report from the managing entities of how many they have that are data waived to prescribe buprenorphine. So if we were to be able to say, okay, we've had a lot of training and technical assistance in this region and that region, and we see an increase, just to be able to see the impact of the work that they've done, because it's great to be able to report that they've talked and they consulted, but we want to be able to, during our analysis, to see if that had an impact and increased the number of people who are prescribing or who were waived and who were not waived and now are waived. So that's just one of the things I'd like to be able to see. And you can do it by ME because the majority of them will be funded by an ME. But if it turns out that there's an agency that's not funded by an ME, you can just notate the region that they're in. But that would be great to see. And actually, earlier this week or last week, we did give Melanie a list of providers, which is also available out on the web under our managing entities contracts list. So she does have it. And it, again, so that'll be some of the reporting that would be great for me to see.
Yeah, and she'll be able to, in here, cluster the ones that you want clustered together in a report. As you can see, I'm just able to go through these and pick through certain ones. And so that would be fairly straightforward for her. And what Greg was talking about was to maybe even save her a step if she needs it, if she needs a step saved. Then we can cluster them. If that's what I was gathering, Greg, is you can do that as well. You can make a custom field for which region these providers belong into, right?
Yeah, and it doesn't really even need to be a custom field. It would just be a field at that provider level. So that part of that record, who Agape Network is, it's just, we gather their address, their name, different pieces of information. Mark, if you could go back to under manage there. There you go, right there. And then go under clients over here. There you go. So if you click on, let's say, Agape Network, or whichever one you want to click on, doesn't matter. They're all the same tier. But you can see that we have a variety of pieces of information, who the contact is. Most of this doesn't appear to be populated. Names of contacts, primary contact, alternate contact, their name, address. So it would be very simple for us to just add this class of information at the very top end of the record there that would show what managing entity they're under.
Yeah, that'll be great.
Okay.
Well, I do appreciate your time. This is nicely done. I'm not really tech savvy. What type of program is this, or system that you're using?
It's built using a couple of different tools. It's kind of a compilation. There's actually not a stitch of Microsoft source tools in here, but it is a responsive design network, so it works on or a responsively designed application. So it's not designed to work on browsers, tablets, mobile devices, across the board, and it scales down depending on what platform it's on. And it's hosted totally in the cloud as far as the back end of it goes. Now, Mark, did you show her the dashboard? So and kind of walk her through that front end piece of it. So whenever the user first logs in, they get this dashboard, and then from this dashboard they can navigate off to whatever part. But part of this is we're presenting them with some basic information. This could be modified if there's other types of information that need to be presented to the user as they're connecting in. But we just basically have if they've got rejected entries, if they've got some draft entries that they need to go in there and tidy up. This gives them a direct link into those, and other pieces of information could be added here as they were identified.
Okay. Awesome.
All righty.
I just want to see one more thing, if you don't mind. If you go back to where they're entering their information, like how do they close it and wrap it up? I don't know if there is.
All right, so there's two ways. The first way I showed you was just to start the timer. It's an easier way for them. But then they can also, let's say, they take a call and they forget about it, and they want to add their time entry. So they have two ways to start and finish their time entries here. One is through that countdown timer, which will just do it automatically, and the other way is through just add new time entry. And then they'll select the provider that they helped out. Very, very much the same thing I showed you in the start timer. The only difference is the time. They have to now adjust the time to what they spent and what they did. That's actually the only real difference between these things.
And I think it's important to note that the system has the flexibility to allow the physician to go enter time and like that historic time. So they don't need to put the time in the system, like right at the time they're doing it. Because I know some docs they'll kind of make other notes or whatever, and then they go in and put their notes in later. This allows them the ability to do that. They can basically pick the start time, the end time, and then put their notes in. I know there's a point of use. Some systems actually have a point of use where it tracks whenever you put it in, and that's kind of where it is. If they forgot an entry from 3 days ago, they can go in there and select the date, time, and put it all in there that way. And the system does validate the entries so that they wouldn't be able to make an entry and, for example, not click the staff box. And so we kind of force them to make sure we have all the critical data points that you're looking to gather.
Got it. And so when Melanie or whomever does the authorization, the review and authorization, like they're clicking on save, but how will Melanie know that they're done with that entry? Is there like a submit?
Yeah, she would go to there's a process. So she would go to the reports, and then she would select under
my sheet here, and then she would log in, and she would be able to see this time entry. If she pulled those reports. That's what those reports we were showing you.
Yeah, if you click on the reports, Mark, and then what she would do is she would look for report types. So if you go to the very top up here,
Yeah.
and then that would be approval report. No, I'm sorry. There you go. Get the approval report. Current month. Leave all that stuff to find. Now run generate report.
And then down here.
And so she would just run this report for whatever period of time, and then she sees all these submitted. And basically, Mark, if you would click on the little checkbox there that's to the very left, click on that. We'll show her the approval process. So
yeah, and then you can approve it.
No, hold on. You got a step missing here, son. Go to on the very left-hand side. See under 12.3, the one entry for me. Click on that little little box, right? Yeah, I don't think this is a part we've actually gone through with you. So check those two entries underneath that one, and then go up here under status, and then click approved or ready to invoice, depending on how the cycles are. If you click on save, correct? There you go. Okay, you got it. Okay, and see how it changed the status to approved?
Right. Okay, nice.
Okay, and then there's other statuses. So depending on the cycles that Mark and team have in place, then there's a secondary cycle. So this then moves on to the next party, and then they're reviewing all these entries. They would basically click on the approved box right there. Mark, could you do that, please? No, just click on where it says approved. There you go. And now the entry gets pulled up. It doesn't allow people to enter. Yeah, so basically once it's approved, it's locked. They can't make any entry edits to it, but they can go through and look at it. And then once they're done with it, scroll down to the bottom.
Yeah, you can just look at it.
Yeah, just look at it. So cancel, right? And then they go over and they would check the box. So check the same little box to the left there and check the other one. And then you would go over here to the status. Click that drop down right there, and click Ready to Invoice.
Okay.
Ready to invoice? All right.
Ready to Invoice, yep, there you go. And click Save, and it changes it to Ready to Invoice. So depending on where it is in the workflow, you basically have a first-tier approval. First, the doc submits it, and then you've got whoever, Melanie, if she's scrubbing looking for information, she's going to go through and either click it to approve, or if the processes have it, she just basically makes it ready to invoice. She just basically sets the status ready to invoice. Finance runs a report to create the billing that goes out, the reimbursement that goes out. Once they do that, then they can change it then to another tier that says invoiced. So basically the process just repeats itself through each tier. They would go to the drop down, invoiced, boom. And we got places in there for the invoice number, the bill number that's coming from the doc. So, we're allowing for that complete workflow to happen and to track each step of the process.
Very nice. Well, I do appreciate your time, and I appreciate you giving me the demo, even though the docs haven't been able to join us. So thank you very much. I'm going to see if I could connect with Melanie. I did call in while I was on hold waiting for you all, and it said that the organizer hadn't joined, but I'm going to try to join them, and I'll follow up with Melanie. And I do appreciate your willingness to add the MEs and regions. That I appreciate that. That'll be helpful for us as well.
And you can tell Melanie, too, if you're going to speak with her in a few minutes, that we recorded this all. So I'll send that link out to her on Monday, and then we can get the doctors, because we still have to get the the doctors all in the system and logged in. So we have to coordinate all that. And once we do that, it's going to be fairly straightforward for them. All they're going to have to do is hit play. But yeah, if you would mention that to her, that we recorded this whole thing, and I'll send her that so she can review it as well.
Okay, sounds great. You all enjoy the rest of your day.
All right, now, bye-bye.
You too.
Greg, thank you very much. Appreciate it.
Thanks. Bye-bye.
Hey, Mark?
Yeah.
Hey, is anybody else on the line with us now?
Possibly Melanie Myers. They're still in the meeting, but I don't know if they have audio.
Okay, you don't know if they can actually hear. They may just be able to see. Okay.
Yeah,
right.
I don't know if they're sticking around or if they're on somebody's computer and they just And they stuck around for the whole thing, but she called me and told me she wasn't getting audio, and I guess they didn't have a conference phone or something in there.
Yeah, and they're at a resort or at a facility.
Yeah,
there.
they can't get cell phone reception. Logistically, it was the one thing we didn't anticipate. So.
Yeah, no, I understand. Yeah, you thought you think you're going to get, but usually you're down in the bowels of those places, and so anyway, so I think it seems like it went well. What I would suggest is maybe we make a clean version of this demo if we're going to be distributing it to the doctors, and get me in as a presenter. I'm not sure why.
Yeah, why don't we do a GoToMeeting, and then you can just do it and record it. And I can join you in the GoToMeeting, but then you can do it on your timetable. And if you want to push that out to us, or get that set up next week.
Yeah, I just want to. I don't want to give. I don't want to. If we're going to just send that out as a kind of a training tool for them, as a training reference, then I wouldn't really, because we were kind of hopping around all over the place to kind of show her different things.
Yeah, she had a different set of needs than they do.
Exactly. Yeah. And I think adding
half of it. So yeah,
now,
if you want to cobble together, 15-minute just user, what the docs will do.
Yeah.
Yeah, and if you want me on there, you can have me on there. I don't know if you actually need me on there.
Well,
if you want to do that, that would be great. I think that's actually a better idea than this, particularly for the doctors.
Yeah, because we've had a really hard time trying to cobble this thing together to get them the education that they need with this. But